Most dog owners believe they would immediately notice if something was wrong with their dog. If their dog was sick, hurt, or emotionally struggling, surely they would know. But dogs are incredibly quiet when it comes to emotional pain. In the wild, showing weakness can be dangerous, and even today, many dogs still instinctively hide discomfort until it becomes overwhelming. That means some of the most important warning signs are also the easiest to miss. The frightening part is this: many owners see these behaviors every single day and never realize what their dog is trying to communicate emotionally. Because dogs do not speak through words, they speak through body language, tiny behavioral changes, emotional distance, silence, and quiet signals humans often overlook completely. Before we begin, subscribe now if you love dogs and want to understand the emotional world behind their behavior. This channel is all about canine psychology, emotional bonding, and the hidden truths behind pet behavior. Number 1. Your dog suddenly becomes unusually quiet. Most people worry when dogs bark too much, but sometimes silence is the real warning sign. A dog that suddenly becomes emotionally withdrawn may be experiencing stress, fear, sadness, discomfort, or emotional exhaustion, especially if the change feels sudden. Maybe your dog used to greet you excitedly every day, bring toys constantly, follow you from room to room, wait near the door when you left, and now they simply lie quietly somewhere else. Many owners assume, "Oh, my dog is finally calming down." But emotional shutdown and calmness are not always the same thing. Dogs naturally seek emotional engagement with the humans they trust most. So when emotional interaction suddenly disappears, something underneath may have changed emotionally. And the difficult part is, dogs rarely explain emotional pain dramatically. Most simply become quieter, slower, less expressive, almost as if they are emotionally shrinking themselves. And honestly, that change can be heartbreaking once you finally notice it. Number 2. Your dog avoids eye contact during affection. Humans often associate avoiding eye contact with guilt, but in dogs, it more often signals emotional discomfort. Watch carefully during physical affection. Does your dog turn their head away, look toward the floor, blink repeatedly, lick their lips, become unusually still? These are subtle stress signals, and many loving owners completely miss them because the dog still tolerates the interaction afterward. But tolerance is not the same as comfort. Dogs often quietly endure emotional discomfort because they trust humans, not because they actually enjoy what is happening. That is why this warning sign matters so much emotionally. A trusting relationship should make a dog feel emotionally safe enough to relax, not emotionally pressured to endure. Sometimes humans accidentally overwhelm dogs with affection during moments when the dog actually needs emotional space instead. And sadly, many dogs slowly learn that avoiding eye contact is the safest way to reduce emotional pressure without upsetting the human they love. Number 3. Your dog constantly watches your mood. Dogs are emotional observers. Researchers have discovered that dogs constantly study facial expressions, tone of voice, body movement, and emotional energy. But emotionally anxious dogs monitor humans differently, not from curiosity, from caution. Some dogs become hyper-alert to footsteps, door sounds, changes in voice volume, sudden movement, mood shifts, and over time, living in emotionally unpredictable environments can quietly make dogs feel constantly on edge. One day the owner is patient, the next day they are frustrated. One day the dog is rewarded for something, the next day they are scolded for the exact same behavior. Humans understand emotional inconsistency. Dogs do not. They only experience uncertainty, and uncertainty creates anxiety. Some dogs eventually begin studying their owner's emotions almost constantly, trying to predict, will today feel emotionally safe? And honestly, a dog should never feel responsible for emotionally managing the humans around them. That emotional burden is exhausting. Number 4. Your dog stops asking for attention. This sign gets misunderstood all the time. Many people think, my dog has become independent. But emotional withdrawal and healthy independence are not always the same thing. Dogs who stop seeking affection, stop bringing toys, stop asking to play, or stop checking in emotionally may no longer expect emotional connection to feel rewarding anymore. And sadly, that emotional distance usually develops slowly. So slowly that most owners never notice the shift until the relationship already feels emotionally different. Healthy dogs naturally seek social connection, especially with the humans they trust most. That emotional closeness matters deeply to dogs, more deeply than many people realize, because to dogs, connection is safety. Connection is emotional stability. Connection is belonging. So when a dog quietly stops seeking emotional closeness, that change should never be ignored. Sometimes emotionally distant dogs are not rejecting humans. They are protecting themselves emotionally from disappointment or unpredictability. And that possibility alone should make any loving owner pause and reflect carefully. Before we continue, take a moment to subscribe if you enjoy learning about dog psychology, emotional bonding, and the deeper truths behind pet behavior. There are still a few warning signs left. And the final one may be the most emotional of all. Number 5. Your dog flinches before touch. Sometimes the movement is tiny. A blink, a slight head movement, a brief freeze, a subtle pull backward. Many owners never notice it because the dog still allows the touch afterward. But emotionally safe dogs usually do not prepare themselves for affection from trusted humans. Dogs who repeatedly flinch during touch may have developed emotional uncertainty around physical interaction. Sometimes from rough handling, sometimes from unpredictable reactions, sometimes simply from being overwhelmed too often. And the heartbreaking part is this: many loving owners accidentally create this emotional pattern without realizing it. Not through cruelty, but through inconsistency, pressure, or emotional misunderstanding. Trust grows when touch feels predictable. Gentle, respectful, safe, not overwhelming, not emotionally confusing, not forced. Because trust is not measured by whether a dog tolerates physical contact. Trust is measured by whether physical contact helps the dog relax emotionally. And those are two very different things. Number 6. Your dog isolates themselves during stress. When dogs feel afraid, their instincts normally pull them toward safety, toward trusted attachment figures, toward the people who make the world feel less frightening. A thunderstorm happens, a loud noise startles them, an unfamiliar person appears, something unexpected creates fear. And normally, dogs look for reassurance from the people they trust most. But emotionally disconnected dogs sometimes do the opposite. They hide alone, withdraw quietly, avoid interaction, or emotionally shut down completely. And honestly, this may be one of the saddest warning signs of all. Because trust is not measured during easy moments. Trust is measured during fear. A dog who still seeks comfort from you during stressful moments is emotionally saying, "You still feel safe to me." And that emotional statement matters deeply. But dogs who isolate during fear may no longer fully trust emotional safety around them. That does not mean the relationship is ruined forever. Far from it. Dogs are incredibly forgiving. Trust can often be rebuilt beautifully through patience, gentleness, predictability, emotional awareness, and calm consistency. But emotional rebuilding requires humans to first recognize the warning signs honestly. And many people never do. Number 7. Your dog seems unable to fully relax around you. This sign is subtle, but once you notice it, you may never unsee it again. Emotionally secure dogs relax deeply around trusted humans. Their muscles soften, slows. Breathings, eyes become calm. Sometimes they expose vulnerable areas like the belly. Sometimes they stretch comfortably nearby. Sometimes they fall into deep sleep without concern. But emotionally uncertain dogs often remain slightly alert. Always monitoring, always listening, always emotionally prepared for unpredictability. Many owners mistake this for attentiveness or excitement, but sometimes the dog is not emotionally relaxed enough to fully let their guard down. And living in that constant emotional alertness can quietly exhaust dogs over time. Imagine never fully relaxing inside your own home, never completely knowing how someone may react emotionally, never feeling entirely safe, becoming vulnerable. That emotional tension slowly changes behavior, confidence, trust, and emotional security. The beautiful thing is this: most dogs do not expect perfection. They simply want emotional safety, predictability, gentleness, patience, and reassurance that the humans they love will continue feeling emotionally safe tomorrow too. Dogs are constantly communicating these emotional needs, not through words, but through body language, tiny behaviors, subtle reactions, small emotional shifts humans often overlook completely. And perhaps the most emotional part of all this is how deeply dogs continue trying to trust humans anyway. Even after misunderstanding, even after stress, even after emotional confusion, again and again. That emotional resilience is extraordinary. Dogs continue loving with openness most humans would struggle to maintain. And maybe that is why these warning signs matter so much. Because behind every behavior, there is an emotional world quietly unfolding inside your dog every single day. So tonight, watch your dog carefully. Not just what they do, but how they feel around you. The way they react to your touch, your presence, the way they relax or fail to relax. Because sometimes the smallest warning signs reveal the deepest emotional truths about your relationship. And once you truly begin noticing them, you may understand your dog in a completely different way forever. And honestly, that understanding may completely change the emotional bond you share for the rest of your dog's life.